Namaskar, Jai Shri Krishna. Enlightening text 3 of chapter 7, Scheduled Incarnations with specific functions of second canto, the cosmic manifestation of Srimad Bhagavatam. Text 3. Jadne cha kardam gruhe dvija devahutyam stri bhiha samama navabhiratma gatim swamatre uche yatma shamalam gunasanga panka masmin vidhuta kapilasya gatim prapede. The Lord then appeared as the Kapil incarnation, being the son of the Prajapati Brahman Kardam and his wife Devhuti, along with 9 other women sisters. He spoke to his mother about self-realization, by which in that very lifetime she became fully cleansed of the mud of the material modes and thereby achieved liberation, the path of Kapil. The instructions of Lord Kapil to his mother Devhuti are fully described in the 3rd canto, chapters 25 to 32 of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and anyone who follows the instructions can achieve the same liberation obtained by Devhuti. The Lord spoke Bhagavad Gita, and thereby Arjun achieved self-realization, and even today anyone who follows the path of Arjun can also attain the same benefit as Shri Arjun. The scriptures are meant for this purpose. Foolish, unintelligent persons make their own interpretations by imagination and thus mislead their followers, causing them to remain in the dungeon of material existence. However, simply by following the instructions imparted by Lord Krishna or Lord Kapil, one can obtain the highest benefit even today. The word Atmagatim is significant in the sense of perfect knowledge of the Supreme. One should not be satisfied simply by knowing the qualitative equality of the Lord and the living being. One should know the Lord as much as can be known by our limited knowledge. It is impossible for the Lord to be known perfectly as He is, even by such liberated persons as Shiva or Brahma, so what to speak of other demigods or men in this world. Still, by following the principles of the great devotees and the instructions available in the scriptures, one can know to a considerable extent the features of the Lord. His Lordship Kapil, the incarnation of the Lord, instructed his mother fully about the personal form of the Lord, and thereby she realized the personal form of the Lord and was able to achieve a place in the Vaikuntha Lok, where Lord Kapil predominates. Every incarnation of the Lord has his own abode in the spiritual sky. Therefore, Lord Kapil also has his separate Vaikuntha planet. The spiritual sky is not void. There are innumerable Vaikuntha planets, and in each of them the Lord by his innumerable expansions predominates, and the pure devotees who are there also live in the same style as the Lord and his eternal associates. When the Lord descends personally or by his personal plenary expansions, such incarnations are called Ansha, Kala, Guna, Yuga and Manvantara incarnations. And when the Lord's associates descend by the order of the Lord, such incarnations are called Shaktyavesh incarnations. But in all cases, all the incarnations are supported by the invulnerable statements of the authorized scriptures and not by any imagination of some self-interested propagandist. Such incarnations of the Lord in either of the given categories always declare the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be the ultimate truth. The impersonal conception of the Supreme Truth is just a process of negation of the form of the Lord from the mundane conception of the Supreme Truth. The living entities, by their very constitution, are spiritually as good as the Lord, and the only difference between them is that the Lord is always supreme and pure, without contamination by the modes of material nature, whereas the living entities are apt to be contaminated by association with the material modes of goodness, passion and ignorance. This contamination by the material modes can be washed off completely by knowledge, renunciation and devotional service. Devotional service to the Lord is the ultimate issue, and therefore those who are directly engaged in the devotional service of the Lord not only acquire the necessary knowledge in spiritual science, but also attain detachment from material connection and are thus promoted to the kingdom of God by complete liberation, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita 14.26. Mam cha yo avyabhicharen bhakti yogen sevate sagunan samatit yaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Even in the non-liberated stage, a living entity can be directly engaged in the transcendental loving service of the personality of Godhead Lord Krishna or his plenary expansions like Ram and Narsimha. Thus, with the proportionate improvement of such transcendental devotional service, the devotee makes definite progress toward Brahma Gatim or Atma Gatim and ultimately attain Kapilasya Gatim or the abode of the Lord without difficulty. The antiseptic potency of devotional service to the Lord is so great that it can neutralize the material infection even in the present life of a devotee. A devotee does not need to wait for his next birth for complete liberation. Hare Krishna.